This is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com, and this week on the Great North Wrestling Podcast, we have two-time WWE Tag Team Champion, Japanese wrestling star, European wrestling star, and Great North Wrestling former Canadian champion, Rene Dupree, who is appearing August 9th at the Petawawa Civic Center as part of my live interview show that Teddy Hart and Wes Brisco are also going to be involved with. And then August the 10th, you were actually having a match against a man that used to be a backyard wrestler, even in his late 20s, but in recent years he's been training and he's going to step in the ring with you. So that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to beat his ass.
I don't know if it's going to be your most challenging of opponents. Who has been your most challenging opponent?
Most challenging?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Well, Suzuki Minoru was pretty tough. Masakazu Funaki. A lot of the Japanese wrestlers, they can go.
And you were over in Europe. You sent us a bunch of videos that I posted from your time over there. You want to just go over some of the countries you were in?
Oh, I did Sweden, Italy, Germany, Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales. There might be another one, but I don't know. I love going over to Europe, man. It's a lot of fun.
And did your wife miss you being gone for that long? I think you were gone for 8 or 9 months.
No, she's used to it by now. She's kind of happy when I leave.
And you're back around for a couple weeks, and then you're heading out again, I understand, sometime after your Great North Wrestling appearances next week.
Yeah, I head out to Montreal on Wednesday. I got a few gigs out there, and then I do your show. And the next day I got to fly back to the Maritimes. I got a show in Halifax. Then I finally get 2 weeks vacation where I can drink beer and eat lobster. And then I'm heading back out to Japan for 3 months. So.
Wow, what company are you going to be wrestling for over there?
It's a secret.
Oh, it's a secret. What do you think about this deal that was announced last week? Noah's going to be working with MLW now.
I think it's kind of cool. It's going to give American talent, North American talent, a chance to go over to Japan, work there, and Japanese talent a chance to go to get some, American exposure. And I think it's great. The more places to go, the better, man.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on All Elite Wrestling so far? I don't know if you've seen any of their shows being over in the UK.
I saw. Did you watch? I think it was the last one. I think it was from Florida. It was like in an amphitheater.
I've only seen free clips on the internet. I haven't seen any full shows yet. But yeah, I saw that was what was it called? Fight for the Fallen, I think.
Right. How cool was that setup? I thought
their production values and setup are amazing.
Oh yeah, and right there, they're on the right track because it looks totally different from anything else that's on television, right? And some people might say that it's goofy. It's different. It's different. And you listen to the crowd's into it. They're the consumer. They're the ones buying the tickets. So, you gotta evolve and you gotta go with the times. You can't stay in the past. And, my hats off to them, man. They got a deal with TNT, which is a major network, and apparently the Cons is that the name of the owners? They got more money than the federal government, so.
Yeah, he is a billionaire from what I understand. Yeah. What do you think? You've done promotions for their TV show. I know they're not going to have any problems getting a huge crowd for the first TV taping, but once they go weekly, they're going to be running 6,000 to 14,000 seat arenas. Do you think they're going to be able to fill those arenas on a weekly basis?
Listen, like back in the 90s, right? There was 10, 15 million people a week watching wrestling, and now we're down to about 2 million watching WWF, right? Those fans, I think they're dying for something new. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I have to wait and see, but I think the people in charge aren't stupid. and I know they have demographics and stuff, and they can see the pay-per-view buys and what markets that they're more popular in, so they go there. And I mean, a town like Chicago, there's no reason why they can't go there 2-3 times a year.
Right.
Bigger markets, right? I mean, you got Philadelphia, you got the California market, Texas market. There's a lot of these markets, man, it's dry, and they're just dying for something, so.
And it's been in the news lately about CM Punk. He's going to be appearing at the Fan Fest connected with their Chicago show, but I guess you never know with wrestling. They're not going to say it if he actually has signed anything with them, but he's saying that he's not going to be appearing on their Chicago show, and there's rumors because he was close with Paul Heyman that since Paul Heyman is now the executive director of Raw, he could return to WWE. But do you think he's going to take a payday and return to wrestling, or stay away from it because he doesn't seem to care about money anymore? I know you actually wrestled him once.
No, we worked a bunch of times. I think when he first got to it was the ECW, they put him with me for about a month or so, but I don't know. I have no opinion of it whatsoever. If he comes back, it's up to him. I think he should stay away from MMA because,
Well, apparently UFC's Dana White has said they're not going to use him, and they wouldn't even want to see him on Fight Pass, which is like the UFC network. So if he wanted to, he could get out of his contract. He still has one fight left on his contract, but he's made no effort to get out of his contract to fight for a different company, which I'm sure Bellator would pick him up. So it doesn't appear he's going to fight again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is he getting a weekly guarantee? I'm imagining, right?
I don't know if he's getting paid again unless he fights again. I know he's doing commentary for another MMA company, and he's doing something for NASCAR. But to me, he's not finished his athletic peak years. It would seem silly if he could wrestle and make a couple $1 billion before he retires to just leave that on the table. But I'm not a millionaire, so
not him. Everybody's different.
You saved your money well. Let's get into that. A few people have made comments. I know you sent some videos when you're tired and you've been on the road, and some people have made comments, oh, this guy wasted all of his money. But you actually have an apartment complex. You don't even need to wrestle.
I have 3. I have 3. Yeah. It's over $1 million with the collateral. And by the time I'm 40, I mean, I put a 25-year mortgage on it. So by the time I'm 40, there'll be a steady 6-figure income, higher than 1, lower than 3, but it's enough for me. So, I love the wrestling, and I'm still healthy. So if I can't go and make extra money, do something I love with no strings attached, nobody ordering me around, why not? You know what I mean?
And you're actually in better shape now than you were in WWE. You're definitely close to it, considering it's 15 years later or 10 years later. What are some of your secrets?
Consistency. I'm in the gym. If I can, like when I'm home or when I'm on the road, I usually get a hotel room with a cardiovascular, like a gym in it. So I get up in the morning and I do my cardio. It helps my body. It's like starting your engine on a cold day, right? Just warm yourself up. And then I usually do the weights in the evening, but it's diet, man. Anybody who's ever been around me or traveled with me sees the way I eat. And diet and nutrition, diet and genetics is 85% of the way you look. So when my father was a kid, he looked like a young Steve Reeves, and my mom looked like a bikini model. So I got really good genetics.
And I'm sure they told you from a young age how to train, because I remember seeing pictures of you when you were about 14 years old. You already looked like a 20-year-old. I remember in Mat Rats, we were all scared of you because you were like the biggest one by far.
Right. 17, yeah. No, man. That's what I'm like you. We knew what we wanted to do from a young age, and my dad's like, "Well, if you want to be a wrestler, you gotta work out and have a body." And I could see, guys like British Bulldogs on TV and stuff. They were my favorite tag team. So we had a weight room in the basement, and I ate and worked out like a madman.
And I got to ask you about this. It could actually be true that WWE is planning to have an NXT Canada brand. Next week, they're doing a Toronto 3-day tryout. I guess Maximum Testosterone and Lady Yasmin from Great North Wrestling are involved in this, but
Oh,
apparently Santino would be in charge of this Canadian brand as far as the trading if it happens.
yeah,
Do you think there would be a market for a Canadian NXT league?
I'm sure there would be. I mean, look back in the day, Jesus. You had Stu running 7 days a week out in Calgary. You know what I mean? And then you had the Bearman in Ontario. You had Grand Prix in Montreal and the Rougeos in Montreal, and my dad here in the Maritimes. And I mean, Canadians could make a living just in Canada. They didn't have to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the Montreal company had 3 shows a night actually at one point.
Oh, it was insane. It was insane. You got all those. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they can make it work.
Depends how good the quality of the storylines are, I guess, and the style of wrestling they use. I know you eventually want to bring back your dad's territory once you have that 6-figure income coming in. You have to, would you be happy if WWE were to run the Maritimes regular again? Because right now, I don't think they run it very often. I don't even think they go to Newfoundland anymore.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't really want to get into it, but hey, listen, they're a very powerful company and they can do whatever they want. So you just gotta sometimes just roll with the punches, right?
If you could have the choice between, let's say, the company's giving out contracts now, there's Major League Wrestling, Ring of Honor, Impact, you can't really count because from what I understand, they pay little to nothing. That there's WWE and AEW. So out of those 5 companies, I know WWE is not one of the ones you'd want to wrestle for, but if you could have the choice of those 5, where do you think you would fit in the best?
None of the above. New Japan is where I like to go.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus being independent, right? If I could get the exposure on New Japan, and then when I'm not, like I listened to the interview you had with Harry, and he said he only get 4 tours a year. I'd be happy with 4 tours a year because I go to Europe and do Canada and do the Indies on as long as they let me know in advance so I can create my own schedule. I'd be happy because you're still getting that exposure, man. And they got great exposure. I mean, I think they ran some shows, some Ring of Honor towns, right? Sold out.
Yeah. Ring of Honor couldn't sell them out, and New Japan's come into the same arenas, and they sold out 2 of them the first day of ticket sales.
There you go. So, I know they drew. They're going to London August 31st. I think they got 7,000 or 8,000 tickets sold there already. So by the time the show comes around, they're probably, if it's not already sold out, it probably will be. And then the Madison Square Garden show sold out like in an hour. And the show they had in Dallas, this is what they needed to do. They needed to put the Von Erich boys on that show because they would have had probably an extra 2 or 3 or 4,000 people in that building if the Von Erichs were on that in Dallas.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I also think that I think they had just under 5,000 or something with the comps. They were expecting 10,000, but 5,000 is not bad for.
That's not bad in this day and age. No, fuck no.
SmackDown was drawing like 3,000, I think, on a regular basis for their TV tapings.
Yeah.
So, I've been reading the results of the house shows, and I notice very often now WWE does not actually use advertised wrestlers on house shows. Was it that bad when you were working for WWE? Would that happen very often where they would say like the top guy's coming and then just not happen? Because in Poughkeepsie a couple weeks ago, 6 advertised wrestlers were pulled from the show.
Well, my father taught me that's the #1 golden rule is that you never advertise something and don't bring it. That's the #1 rule of promoting is if you advertise something, you got to have it. So I don't know. Jeez, is that because? Why is that? Because now they're bringing guys to TVs to help the ratings and stuff.
Yeah, and I found that interesting because there were some SmackDowns that they just full out canceled, and others that they just pulled people from. But obviously the ones that they full out canceled didn't have good ticket sales because, as a promoter, if you got a sold out house or a house that you're going to make money on,
you're not gonna cancel it. No. Yeah, that's oof. Yeah.
So that's
times are tough. I mean, and there's so much. Geez, I mean, you can sit on your tablet or YouTube and watch all kinds of wrestling live. You know what I mean? There's so much more product out there now and available at fingertips. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
And for the Cafe de Rene's that you did, because now you're going to be involved in a talk show August 9th in Petawawa, but you're very well remembered for your Cafe de Rene's. Is there one in particular that stood out to you as being your favorite?
When I got to pick up Tori Wilson in a body slam, my hand was firmly on her buttocks. And I actually told her that. I saw her in Orlando a couple years ago, and I actually told her that was my favorite moment of my tenure there.
Yeah, I think I actually saw her in Orlando that time too. I happened to be in the same restaurant, and David Penzer was with me, and she looked similar to how
she was the most beautiful woman I've ever met in my life.
How did Kidman pull that off?
He's an overachiever.
Yeah. So where can people follow you? I know you got Twitter, you're on Facebook, but you don't necessarily allow many people on your Facebook, but for Twitter you allow people.
Yeah, there's a real Rene Dupree. There's no check mark, and I don't actually run it because I'm not mature enough to be on social media. So I have someone do it for me, but if you want to contact me for bookings or whatever, or private parties, the person there can contact me. So yeah, and as far as Facebook, unless you're a promoter, I don't really like socializing much, and I don't like to post because I've got myself in trouble in the past. So trying to work on that.
And did you ever wrestle for Brian Dixon again after that period of time that you and I were in England together and PCO was out there? Or
yeah. I'm not gonna he's a promoter. He's an old school promoter, and I'm not going to get into it, but let's just say I'm glad that we went through that, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because it makes you more grateful.
You lasted longer than I did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, you still got that rubber glove he gave you? That was your gimmick, right? He gave you like a
Oh, God. I actually forgot about that.
I'm surprised you didn't take that out of your pay.
Yeah, no, that was actually a cheap rubber glove. He had to replace it a couple of times because it kept literally falling apart.
Right.
Yeah, it was. I forgot all about that. That's a good.
Yeah.
Mason Ryan was out there too. Whatever happened to him? Did he just retire after his WWE run? I never heard anything.
Well, you know how it is. Most guys, after TV, they'll soak out 6 months or a year, get whatever money they can, and then they get depressed and, find something else to do. I think he was working for Cirque du Soleil. That's the last I heard out in Vegas.
Okay.
But a really impressive guy physically, but,
And he was tough. He could take a beating. I remember, literally chopping the hell out of him, and he wouldn't complain. He had such a thick chest, but he didn't really, fight back too much when you would do that, I guess you could say. So I don't know.
A lot of those Welsh guys like Mason Ryan, Rob Terry, there was a guy named Domino. They're probably the best physiques and physically impressive guys I've ever seen in wrestling were from Wales. Yeah, just incredible.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on with us, checking in. It's going to be interesting to do the live talk show because Ted Hart and I are wrestling the next night, so you may actually have to settle things down. I mean, Ted and I have been friends for a long time, but we're going to put it aside for that night and see who the better wrestler is. But the night before, you're involved in this talk show that Ted is also going to be on, and we're actually going to air this thing live on the Hannibal TV, which is going to be interesting because we've never done a live shoot interview before. So
it's the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait, especially with Teddy Hart. He's unpredictable. He's crazy. Oh, boy. It's crazy in a good way.
And what do you expect out of this match? You said you're going to beat the hell out of this guy. This might be his biggest match he ever has. Any message for him? What's that? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Might be the last match you ever had.
The last match you ever had. Well, that should be interesting. I'm actually looking forward to seeing that match. That actually might be the most interesting match I'm looking forward to seeing on that card. So
Petawawa, August 10th. For those listening, it's going to be live. It's going to be action-packed. Can't wait. Hannibal versus Teddy Hart. Dungeon match. Oh, can't wait.
And there is a chance also that Davey Boy Smith Jr. might be added to that card because I guess he's in Toronto that weekend now.
Oh,
so we should know very, very soon because he's not going to be too far away and he might be able to fit it into his schedule to make an appearance. So it could be a hell of a card.
Rats reunion in Petawawa.
Exactly. It's going to be awesome. Thanks a lot, Rene, and safe travels up here next week.
Yes, sir. Take care of yourself, Devin.
IBEW Local 586 and the HannibalTV.com presents Great North Wrestling Obliteration. Saturday, August 10th at the Petawawa Civic Center in the Ottawa Valley, featuring 3 title matches. In the main event, the high-flying, death-defying, eldest Hart grandchild, Teddy Hart from Major League Wrestling will face three-time Canadian champion, Hannibal, the Death Dealer, in a dungeon match. The Canadian Championship will be on the line when former Impact Wrestling star West Brisco challenges Canada's strongest wrestler, Maximum Testosterone, for the title. Women's Champion of Canada, Lady Yasmin, will defend her championship in a grudge match against former Quebec champion Jessica Black. The World Television title will be up for grabs when Nathan Banner defends the crown against Jeremy Prophet, and 2-time WWE Tag Team Champion Rene Dupree will be in action as part of the 7-match card. Advance tickets are on sale now, starting at just $15 for ringside seats, available at the Petawawa Civic Center reception office or online at ticketweb.ca. Prices go up $5 at the door. More event info is at the HannibalTV.com. Special thanks to our sponsors, IBEW, Local 586, The Quality Inn, Petawawa, and Pembroke Mitsubishi.